Welcome to another episode of Shubham Mittal Show. Today, we have our first women guest on the show. She is Managing Director and CEO at India First Life Insurance Company Limited. She is a chartered accountant by qualification, applying marketing acumen to fundamental business skills to create profitable growth businesses. She has been selected by Forbes to be amongst the 25 women power trailblazers in March 18. She's also ranked by Fortune India amongst the 50 most powerful women in business in India for the year 2017, 18, and 2019. She has received many more awards, recognitions for her work and her leadership. But whatever she is today, it was not easy for her at all. She faced various challenges, including gender discrimination during her professional career. Let us learn a few golden nuggets who showed to the world that a woman can be a great leader. Thank you so much, Vishakha, for being on the show.
Thank you for the introduction, Shubham.
Thank you so much, Vishakha, for being on the show and agreeing to spare your precious time to share your wisdom and knowledge with the young chartered accountants.
Oh, not at all. It's absolutely a pleasure. And if I can help someone and inspire someone, then I think it will be well worth the effort and the time.
I'm sure it will. So, Vishakha, my first question to you is this. During your professional journey, many things changed, be it industry, be it your role. Many times it happened that you got some recognitions, you got some challenges in your professional journey. But what was the constant thing which remained in you till date?
I think dealing with challenges. Okay. I think what was constantly motivating is to push myself and to see if I can do better, if I can do more. And I think that was what it was. From a very, very early age, I remember what used to inspire me is to test how much more I can do. What is it that I have within me to be able to explore your own potential and to maximize your own potential. I think that's been something which has stayed very constant all through.
Wow. So you think that it is a major contributing factor in your success, what you had in your life?
Oh yes, I would definitely think so, because it's very easy to compare to others. And when you actually benchmark to others, it depends on the benchmark that you choose. And then there are so many factors associated with it. We don't know for sure whether all the parameters in that benchmark are equitable for comparison. However, when you choose your own benchmarks, when you choose yourself, you know the parameters. You know what is it. So the comparison is possible to do.
That's right. So one thing what I learned from this, that your benchmark should be high and then you should target to achieve those benchmarks.
A slightly different way of putting it, Shubham, I think it is about constantly raising the bar. So I don't think I'll talk about setting benchmarks. I'll say, what is it that you've done? Can you do better? And can you go one step better than that? Can you do one step better than that? How far can you really go? What is your own potential? Is this the maximum that you can do, or is there more? And I think it is about being able to keep raising the bar for yourself and to keep, understanding the depths of your own capability.
Right. And that's what helps us as a human being to grow in life.
Yeah, I think that's the purpose, right? I don't understand. Otherwise, one would start questioning, why are you here? If it is not for you to realize your own potential, what else is life all about?
That's very true. So one obviously purpose of human being is to identify what is my potential and how do I grow it consistently.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's true. Thank you, Vishakha, for sharing that. Now, this question is related to now your career, which you chose long back. So, as a traditional, what happened? People go for accounting, auditing, taxation, but you chose to go for sales and you loved it. So, what was the thought process when you decided that, okay, I will now go into sales? What were the challenges you faced from maybe society, from other people?
Uh, Actually, it wasn't all that difficult a choice. So, my initial choice was really to go into accounts. So, I did not start off in sales. I was also a traditionalist. I joined as an WAO accounts in New India in 1987. So, I also started my career in accounts. I think the difference is when computerization happened and when you started seeing that accounts by itself was really getting taken over, it was getting automated, and the impact that you were making is not about is not about ensuring good accounting. And I think that's where you started looking and saying, okay, what more, what next, because this is not challenging enough. Coming accounts had become all about data entry verification, and I said, this is not really what is optimum utilization of my capabilities and what I can do. I think that's when I said, okay, what's the next challenge? What can I do next? And I'd gone to consult my regional manager, who then told me that I should probably try my hand at sales. And I said, I've never done sales before. I don't know products. And he said, all the more reason you should do it. And I said, yeah, that's true. You know what? Let's give it an opportunity. And I think that's where I saw a change. And so I think so when the whole discussion came up about can you do sales, you realize it's an opportunity to learn something new. You realize that it is a good option to moving away from something which is dying. And I think it's an ability to spot those opportunities and an ability to realize those opportunities, which is a very essential quality. I think that's something that I would encourage everybody to say that, जो काम कर रहे हो, अगर उसमें कोई चैलेंज नहीं है, अगर उस काम में कुछ नया सीखने को नहीं है, then it's time for you to, और नया contribute करने को नहीं है, because all the time it's not about learning. Several times it's about what can you contribute. But if you're neither contributing, nor are you learning, nor is it challenging, I think it's definitely time to say, let me find some more challenges. कुछ नया सीखते हैं, कुछ नया करते हैं, कुछ और contribute करते हैं, because that's where growth comes from. Otherwise, there's no growth.
That's very true. And I see few people, as you rightly mentioned that जहाँ पे growth रुक गई है, वहाँ पे फिर आप grow नहीं हो सकते. You need to learn something and implement continuously in life. But काफी लोग देखता हूँ जो अपनी job से खुश नहीं है, या फिर वो हमेशा क्रिप कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उनको continue करना है because of only one reason, and that is money. So what would you say to those people?
देखिए, money is an essential commodity. So, money is a means to an end. I don't think anybody wants money for the sake of money. I think everybody wants money because of what money can buy. Correct? Now, however, what is it that you are willing to do for that money is what you need to ask yourself. And I think you need to ask yourself, why are you bored? How can you make your own job more interesting? And do you want to make your job more interesting? There are some people I know who just want to be miserable at their work. उनको लगता है जब तक वो दुखी नहीं होते हैं, कोई उनको पहचान नहीं मिलेगी. So I think it's also a lot to do about what is your attitude towards work.
That's right.
At the end of the day, anybody who's continuing in one position is doing it out of choice. लोग कहेंगे मजबूरी है, मुझे पैसा चाहिए, but तुमको पैसा चाहिए इसलिए तुम कंटिन्यू कर रहे हो. And I think in your mind वो अगर वो शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं ना कि ये मेरा खुद का चॉइस है versus ये मेरी मजबूरी है, I think it makes a huge change in the way you approach the situation. अगर आपका खुद का चॉइस है, फिर आप कुछ करेंगे उसके बारे में. जब तक आप कहेंगे कि वो मेरी मजबूरी है, तब तक आप हेल्पलेस है. because you cannot do anything to change the situation. Whereas when it's a situation of your own making, you can do something to change it.
What a profound line you just mentioned, and I hope it reaches to many people and they understand the meaning of it, and they do
so too.
task in their life.
I hope so too.
Yeah. So Vishakha, you faced gender discrimination during your professional career, and people questioned your ability to lead because you are a woman. But you showed to the world that a woman can lead the world and she can run a company successfully. So what would you say to those women who also faces some kind of discrimination, maybe in their social gatherings or maybe their professional life? What would be your message to those female and women chartered accountants?
Stay calm and go back to the prayers that we've learned. My schooling and college were in a convent school. And one of the things that we used to learn a lot was forgive them sinners for they know not what they do. I think don't allow others' opinion of you to decide what your capabilities are. Accept that when people make some statements, they're making it with their background, with their experience, with their exposure. So if somebody makes a statement saying that we don't think women are capable, then I think we just have to say it's really sad that you haven't met capable women in your life. Because that's why you have that opinion. The other is, it's sad that you never gave the women in your life the ability to prove their competency or the platform to prove themselves. But I think most importantly, Shubham, I think I would leave with and say, don't allow others' judgment of you to become your judgment of yourself. आप कौन है वो आपको पहचानना चाहिए, दूसरे के कहने से नहीं फर्क पड़ता. It does not mean किसी की बात ही मत सुनो. It does not mean stay blind to your faults. I think you should listen. सबकी सुननी चाहिए. You also need to understand कि दूसरा ऐसा क्यों सोच रहा है. अगर कोई आपको बहुत रूड समझता है और आपको लगता है नहीं मैं तो रूड बिल्कुल नहीं था, आपको ये सोचना जरूरी है कि उसको क्यों लग रहा है रूड. अगर आप उसको रेस्पेक्ट करते हैं, अगर उसके लिए आपको कोई रेस्पेक्ट ही नहीं, वो अलग बात है. पर जिन लोगों की ओपिनियन आपको वैल्यू रखता है, जैसे आपके पेरेंट्स है या आपके स्पाउस है या आपके बच्चे हैं या आपके बॉस है या आपके कोलीग्स है, आपके फ्रेंड्स है, दोस्त गिने चुने लोग जिसकी आप इज्जत करते हैं, अगर वो आपको कुछ फीडबैक देते हैं, वो आपको जरूर सोचना चाहिए कि ऐसा दूसरे को क्यों लग रहा है. मैंने ऐसे क्या कह दिया या मैंने ऐसे क्या कर दिया कि दूसरे को ऐसी ओपिनियन है जबकि मेरा खुद का इरादा ऐसा नहीं था. I think it's very important to distinguish between your intent and your actions. आप क्या कर रहे हैं and how people are perceiving it. And I think you need to be able to bridge that gap between what you think of yourself and what others perceive of you.
Right. That's very true. And in this race, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि आप अपने ड्रीम्स को किल कर दो बिकॉज किसी ने आप पे बिलीव नहीं किया, बिकॉज समवन सेड कि तू लड़की है, तू कैसे करेगी, और यू आर नॉट केपेबल, ये तो मेल डोमिनेटेड थिंग है, व्हाई यू आर डूइंग दिस. So you should not drop your dream there. Is that Vishakha right?
I think it's about making an assessment of the situation, okay, and making an assessment of the challenges, and making sure that it's possible. Because I've heard a lot of people say कि आप अपने सपनों को कभी छोड़िएगा मत. I agree, I definitely agree, but I think you also need to be realistic and make a very realistic assessment. Okay, there's no point in just dreaming without planning for it. So I would say yes, don't drop your dreams because somebody else has told you. Okay, but plan for it. आप बैठ के सोचेंगे कि हाँ मुझे ये करना है, पर उसके लिए कुछ करेंगे नहीं और फिर आप सोचेंगे कि मुझे करने नहीं दिया. ऐसे नहीं होगा. It is about saying, जैसे अगर एक दिया है, आप चाहते हैं कि वो दिया जलता रहे, ठीक है, पर वो दिया में ना अगर आप तेल डालेंगे, ना उसकी बत्ती को साफ करेंगे, और आप सोचेंगे कि ये दिया तो जलता रहना चाहिए, और दूसरा कह रहा है कि वो दिया जलेगा नहीं, उसमें तेल नहीं है, पर तुम कहोगे नहीं नहीं, मैं तुम्हारी बातों में नहीं आने वाली हूँ, ये दिया तो जलेगा ही जलेगा। मतलब सपना सही है, उसका सपना को साकार करने के लिए क्या चाहिए वो आइडेंटिफाई करिए, और फिर if somebody is giving you inputs or somebody is demotivating you, ये बहुत फर्क है।
तो आपको एक डिफरेंस समझना पड़ेगा कि एक राइट एडवाइस क्या है और एक सामने वाले का डीमोटिवेशन क्या है। जो डीमोटिवेशन आपको हटाना पड़ेगा, लेकिन जो राइट एडवाइस है उसको कंसीडर करना पड़ेगा।
बिल्कुल।
Amazing. Now, Vishakha, today is very competitive edge in the market, and everybody and every customer is, trying to have a better experience from the company. In that competitive age, how do you ensure that your customers get amazing services, but at the same time, how do you manage your employees and your teams so that everybody flourishes together?
Well, it's the simplest thing in the world to do. I think the moment you merge the employee's existence to customer service, at the end of the day, you need to be able to find meaning in everybody's job. And I think one of the things I encourage the entire team to do is to say, what is the value addition that your job is adding to the customer? And you will realize that everybody adds value at the end of the day. Some it will be direct, some it will be indirect, but there is not even one thing that is done in the organization that ultimately does not add to customer value. Whether it is ensuring that the payment process happens fast, whether it's ensuring that your bank systems are working, whether it's ensuring your IT systems are working, whether it's your call center, which is the most direct impact on the customer. Okay. Every function that you look at indirectly or directly impacts customer. And I think the moment every employee understands the impact that he or she is making to the customer, automatically you're taking care of both the employee and the customer.
Wow. I really like the way you articulated this, because as an employee, I should understand what kind of value I'm creating for the client, and I should value that thing. And that way I and company and everybody flourishes, right?
Absolutely.
Obviously, this applies to every business. Maybe you are in CA practice, maybe you are in your CA job, maybe you are planning to start your own startup. It doesn't matter. Basic principle remains always same.
100% true. I mean, ultimately, you exist to serve a customer. That customer could be internal, external, it could be a corporate, it could be a B2B, it could be a B2C. But at the end of the day, there is a manufacturer and there is a consumer. I think it's as simple as that.
That's very true. So, Vishakha, one more thing I was researching about you, and I learned to know that you believe in empathy. But at the same time, when you are reviewing any deal or any taking decision, you think from a point of view of PNL, not empathy or being emotional. So how do you manage both, and how do you, advise our audience that what is the fundamental thing they should consider and they should know, like you?
I don't think the two are disconnected. I think, being focused on the objective that you want to realize and being empathetic about it, I don't think the two are disconnected at all. One of the maybe a helpful tip is to first say, okay, what is it that we both agree on? I think it's good to list out what is it that we agree on. Because any difference is primarily only on two occasions. One, either you both don't agree on the objective.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what is it that you and I are trying to get out of this meeting? We're trying to get out some helpful tips for people, right? Whoever wants to use it. Now, if you and I are not even agreed on it, we can't move forward, right? So, one is agreement on the objective, get alignment. Two is to say, do we agree on the path? Now, if you say that my path is social media, I'm going to be putting up in these forums. Now, I may or may not agree with it. And if I don't agree with it, that's a source of disagreement which you need to focus on. But ultimately, one needs to realize that all disagreements stem from some values and some beliefs within each other. So if you're able to do that alignment of what it is, what are your assumptions, what are my assumptions, and I think that's how you make decisions which are in the interest of the organization, and you make those decisions with empathy.
Wow. So it
I don't know
obviously
if it made sense to you or not, but
definitely I completely understand it. It happens in sales also. I need to understand other person's point of view, what their
yes,
wants are, and how I can make sure that both get benefited together.
exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, there is always the deal always has to make sense for both parties.
Exactly.
And any good person, any successful person, is someone who can actually see the perspective of both the people. I think only when you can see the perspective of both the people, that's when you become truly successful.
That's very true and very profound. So Vishakha, one more thing, as a leader, what things you require in a chartered accountant if they are coming to, let's say, maybe for your audit purpose, maybe for some taxation, maybe for a job? What are the qualities and what are the prerequisites you see in a chartered accountant?
One, commitment. Okay, 100% commitment to yourself and to your job. How much, um, how much are you willing to really devote of your own competencies, your own capabilities, your own caliber to ensure that the job is right? The second is a drive for results. You know, it should matter. It should make a difference to you whether you get the job done or not.
Right.
मैंने try किया नहीं हुआ ठीक है is not an attitude that works. You know, if something didn't happen, then you're not at peace with it until you make it happen. I think that drive for results is something which is very important. And a pride. When I use commitment, it also comes with pride. The pride is very different from arrogance. And let's not mistake the two. Pride is your own capabilities, your own competencies.
Right.
Okay. You need to take pride in being able to do a good job. You need to be able to take pride in giving all that you can. It cannot be a chalta hai attitude.
Right. Very
So
true.
I think those are the, for me, it is about a drive for results and a pride and commitment in your work. I think those are the two things I would really look at. High energy would be the third one that I would look at.
Right. You look for the commitment in a person, whether they are really committed to make things happen for their client, whether they can produce some results for them.
The job, whatever job they're doing, you know, whatever job.
Can be as little as filing a return.
Yeah.
Right.
कि सही किया मैंने, कोई गलती नहीं है, टाइम पे हुआ है, कस्टमर को प्रॉब्लम नहीं हुआ, it did not get opened up for scrutiny. All of these things should make a difference. It cannot be हाँ हो गया, गलती हो जाता है कई बार. I mean, you know, you should feel bad अगर कोई गलती हुई तो.
Correct.
ठीक है, हो जाता है गलती, पर बुरा लगा नहीं बुरा लगा तो प्रॉब्लम है मुझे.
I should at least accept that I made a mistake and next time I will not do it.
Correct.
That's very important. So if you're a chartered accountant and you want to go to a company, to a leader for asking some work or maybe job, please ensure that you take care of such things which can actually take you to next level, or maybe you can go nowhere if you do not have such qualities which Vishakha just mentioned. So Vishakha, my last question, and it is only for those chartered accountants who are really ambitious in their life and who are really committed to make things happen. What would you say to them on a long-term basis? and how they can ensure that they become a successful person, not only money wise, but also from fulfillment wise?
One is have a holistic picture of the situation. Okay, I think it's extremely important and extremely difficult to do, because we all like to believe in our opinion. Okay, but I think it's very important to understand that there are multiple perspectives, and you need to be able to have a holistic picture of the problem, and you cannot have just a one-sided view of the problem. I think that's like the most critical thing to do, is to understand what are all the facets of this particular problem. That it's not only one problem. So, for instance, I remember when I was in sales, I used to see people around me negotiate for higher salaries, higher bonuses, and lower targets. And I'd be like, you know what, guys? Management will never agree to something like that. And you are not at all looking at it from a company perspective. When you're arguing about it as higher salaries, higher bonus, and lower targets, you're failing to understand that that equation will not stack up to a profitable organization, to an ongoing growing organization. And if your organization is not profitable and it does not grow, you won't have a job in some years.
That's very true.
I think it's an ability to understand the multiple organizational priorities that go into decision making, and that ability to think from diverse perspectives, which I would put down as the single most point. If I had to add another point, then I think it's I feel the moment you have the ability to see diverse perspectives, that actually solves the problem. But over and above having the diverse perspective, I think you also need to have the will to get it done. The will to be able to convince people. The will to look beyond your own function and understand issues. And I think it's a very clear ability to understand the intent and the action. And there is a very famous saying that we judge ourselves by our intent and we judge others by their actions.
That's very true.
I think that ability to suspend those kind of judgments and create a culture of trust by understanding the differentiation between intent and action, I think would be a very key differentiator.
That's very important point. Obviously, one should not be judgmental about anything without knowing the full picture.
That's right.
Now, it often happens, maybe it's a human tendency that whatever happens, we quickly judge, okay, you did this wrong. It was not right. But without understanding what was the viewpoint that other person took or understood. And that was the another quality you just mentioned, that you should understand other person's perspective as well. That's very amazing. So thank you so much, Vishakha, for sharing your golden nuggets. And I'm very much sure it will help all the chartered accountants who are watching this interview right now.
Thank you very much, Shubham. I think I appreciate the motive with which you are running this channel. I think it's very, very interesting of you to do it. And thank you so much for being able to do that.
Thank you so much, Vishakha, for being there.
Bye.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vishakha, first of all, for giving this interview and sharing your thoughts. Thank you for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it and loved the valuable insights what our guests shared. If you're new to my channel, I want to take this opportunity to welcome you and tell you why I conduct such interviews. My mission is to amplify life of 1 lakh chartered accountants, and for that, I conduct such interviews with world-class chartered accountants so that I can bring their stories, inspiration, experience, and valuable nuggets which can help you to achieve next level of success in your life. So if you are ambitious, do not forget to like this interview, share with those people who are ambitious, and click on the button subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you never miss any episode. If you want to see previous episode, I'm putting the link in the description below so that you can go and check them out. I hope you have a great time. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.